Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Boss Talk. And I'm your host, Beverly Brister of Beverly's Web Shop. And we are about to get started. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight to another edition of Boss Talk. I'm your host, Beverly Brister of Beverly's Web Shop. And tonight I have a wonderful guest on here. Tonight it's Laiquan Harvey-Davis. She's the boss of How Delish. And hold on one second. I am so happy to have her here with us tonight. And let me just tell you a little bit about her before we bring her on. When her son was 9 years old, he'd asked her to come up with a cookbook. She didn't do it right away, but until he asked the second time, then it's like, okay, well, let me get started with this. And so that's where it began. And then after a while, she made some great and fabulous dishes because she has such a talent for her work in the kitchen. Eventually, she started hosting events with her food and her desserts. When a restaurant came around and asked for her desserts to be added to their menu, that just really sparked something, and she decided to branch out on her own to do How Delish. She also adopted a dairy-free lifestyle and couldn't really find dishes that were tasty or really dairy-free dishes. So that's where How Delish kind of evolved and came about. So let me bring on Laiquan Harvey-Davis, known as Chef Q. Welcome, Laiquan. Hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy that I got a chance to connect with you because I tell you, your shop is always hopping, and it just, I've seen lines around the door, around the corner, even during quarantine, and you are blessing this community and this neighborhood with all of your goodness, and I thank you for that. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, for the audience out there, because now there's veganism, there's pescatarianism, there's all these different things. Can you explain for the audience the difference between veganism and vegetarianism?
Well, vegetarians still consume dairy products, and vegans don't. So vegans choose to not eat anything that is an animal or animal byproduct. So that includes honey, cheese, dairy. Even though you're not eating, an animal's flesh, it's still a byproduct of the animal. So those are things that vegans. That's the difference between a vegan and a vegetarian.
Okay, all right. And I know there's a lot of myths out there that kind of talk about what veganism is, and there's probably been some crazy ones that you've heard, I'm sure. Can you just talk about a couple of the most popular myths that are out there and kind of dispel them for us?
Vegans don't get enough protein, which is untrue. I mean, there's protein in all different sources: nuts, grains, leafy greens, beans, all different things. So protein is one of the top things that we hear about. And then the other thing is that we don't eat well. So that's very common, is that we eat very well. Anything that you can have as a meat eater, we have also. So there's so many different alternatives now.
Mhm.
Um, the world has evolved, products have evolved to cater to the vegan community. So it's just now is no better time than to try out being vegan, or the lifestyle, not even just sticking to it, but seeing what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you, I though I still kind of gravitate to some meat, when I do choose meals that are vegan or dairy free, yeah, I just I feel different. You know, it definitely, makes a difference to your system. You know, it definitely it feels healthier and it is healthier, I know. Um, with and I don't want to ask you to give away any trade secrets, but what is the key to having vegan food make it tasty?
Um, so the same way you wouldn't go to the supermarket and buy a steak and just throw it in the oven straight from the pack, right? So seasoning, it's the same thing. The same way you practice seasoning meats, you have to use that same logic with seasoning vegan food. So all the herbs and salt, spices, all the things that you use on meat. If you use that on vegetables or tofu, whatever your
Hmm.
alternative is, you'll find that your meal is will be a lot better versus thinking that you could just throw a vegetable in the oven, cook it, or in the stove and not season it. So I would say
Mm,
season your food well. Even some extra seasoning would be great when cooking vegan.
okay, all right. And I know with so many imbalanced food choices that are out there, was there a personal experience that led you to do a dairy-free lifestyle?
Well, growing up, I my family was vegetarian, and I draw a lot of similarities to veganism that we
Your audio went out a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you just maybe? Oh, no, I can't hear you. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I missed the first part of what you said. Laquan? Laquan? All right. Having a little bit of technical difficulty here, but we will get her back on. In case you're just joining, I'm talking with Laiquan Harvey-Davis, the boss of How Delish, affectionately known as Chef Q. Having a little trouble here with some audio, but we will get her online again. But How Delish is one of the top-rated vegan spots in town. It's in West Orange, New Jersey, but it's known all over the place for her magnificent meals and desserts. And if you haven't tried it, you definitely have to try her meals. It's more than just desserts. It's She has Soul Day. She has a lot of different offerings. You can find her restaurant in West Orange. She is also online at howdelishhd.com. And okay, she is back. Let's bring her back on. Hi there.
Hey, yeah, I don't know what happened to the connection.
That's all right. Things happen, you know.
Yeah. So what I was explaining about, so I grew up vegetarian, and I was saying I draw a lot of similarities to veganism.
Mhm.
So I never could drink a glass of milk. I always had issues with digesting dairy products.
Mm.
So when I got older, I just decided to just go dairy free. I always knew there was an issue with dairy.
Mhm.
Um, and so I just took the leap and just said, you know what, I'm just going to stop eating dairy. So that's what made my decision. Um,
Okay.
well, how many years ago now? Probably about 11 years ago.
Okay. Okay. And it's interesting. A lot of folks do have issues with dairy, and like back in the day, we really didn't know what it was. We'd have foods that were heavy in dairy products and stuff, and we have all these issues. But now, with technology and changing and how we cook and our lifestyles, I'm glad that we're able to have a whole another option where we can have dairy-free food and it's tasty.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference in enjoying your food better.
Mhm.
So I know that you collaborate with other vegan shops and owners to do pop-ups in your location.
Mhm.
How does that work out for you and for them?
So that was an idea that we came up with during the stages of planning what we're gonna do with our space. I
Hmm.
always knew that I wanted to help other businesses as like we were helped. So
Hmm.
we got exposure from a restaurant that started selling our desserts, and then when we got our big break in Brooklyn, it was a couple that was running a vegan market there that gave us a chance to do the vegan market, and that's how people started finding out about us. So I understand the need for a platform for businesses,
Hmm.
and we decided to offer the space to people that we already have relationships with. So it's the vendors that you see that come here, people that we've known for years. We love their food. We love what they have to offer. We love them as people and their energy. So that's why we invite them into our space.
Okay. And it makes such a great, I love the fact that you collaborate with them and that I remember just one time I'd come into the shop and then there were like I forget their name, but they had hot dogs, like vegan hot
Yeah.
dogs. And I think that is so great. And that really is a boss tip, because I like to have audience understand some boss tips there. It's like collaboration and sharing the space. It doesn't mean that someone else is going to take you down. If you share the space, that just shows how much of a bigger person you are and how much of a leader that you are to be able to share a space like that to another business, so that it's a win-win for everybody. So
Yeah.
definitely appreciate when you do that.
Yes.
and
Thank you.
and speaking of collaboration, I know you do a lot of work with the for the community. Yeah, you host game nights, talks with seniors, job fairs. Why is that important to you to do things like that?
Um, I think understanding where youth is today with not having people or space to just enjoy themselves. When we
Mhm.
were growing up, there were arcades, there were all types of things we did.
Yeah.
And now it's nothing. It's nothing for them. Like I feel so bad for this generation. So
Yeah.
I think as much as we can reach back out and help and I think get that connection back. That's something that's missing, the connection, especially I think COVID made
Uh-oh. Laquan?
just to bring people together.
Okay. I'm sorry, your audio went cut out a little bit. You were saying that you believe that COVID had done something and it kind of cut
Yeah,
off.
no, I said it made connections worse.
Mm.
So we were already getting distant because of social media and everybody with their own agendas.
Mhm.
But COVID made it even worse for people as far as connecting, getting out, and talking to others. So we just feel it's important. And we started, I believe we had our last week was our second generational meetup.
Mm.
Our third is going to be on January 8th. So, it's such a great space. And everybody that comes to it, they say, oh my goodness, this is so nice because you get to get out and actually
Yeah.
talk to people, not through
Yeah.
text, not over the phone. It's actual in-person connection, which we don't have now. So
Right,
if
right.
anyone has a chance, come out. I mean, we talk about all different things, and it's just you leave feeling good, knowing that you make connections with other people, and networking is a huge thing.
Yes, yes. And I tell you, it's just that warms my heart, because I do remember when it just reminds me of like going back in the day when the community was really about community, and like you could just play out on the streets, but like you said, there's not too much for folks now, and you're bringing that sense of community back. And I love when that happens. It's just such an energy that always happens when I see it radiate from your place and other businesses that do the same thing. So thank you again for that, and
Oh,
the
thank you.
community
Thank you.
definitely thanks you. Um, Now, I also know that you love to support and give back. And, case in point, you have personally supported our event, the annual Love and Unity Fest. And so, we appreciate the support and the connection with that. Why do you feel that it's important for businesses to give back in that regard?
I think it's confirmation that you're a part of something and that you support people as well as they support you. I mean, we never go into things, but we shouldn't ever go into things thinking, what am I going to get back from doing this, or from giving, or you should never think what you're going to get back. But it does something for you. It does something to you when you're able to give and not really seek anything in return.
Right.
um, is just part of that life circle that we're taught, to do for others. And it'll come back to you some way. You don't know how, but it will. But it makes me feel good no matter what. Even if it never comes back to me, it just makes me feel good to be
Yeah,
able to help others and then see the results of helping others.
yeah, yeah. And it definitely makes a difference, even in like how you go about doing your business too. And like by just being, coming from the heart with what you do, like you said, not doing it to get something back. And it does give back to you in so many different levels and so many different ways. And I'm sure you've probably experienced it. You've gone different places, and people remarked on like some of the events they've been to at your location. So
Mm-hmm.
it good karma. Just
Yeah, exactly.
nice. So, being a wife, a business owner, parent, you have your business humming. What advice do you give for the female entrepreneurs out there to be able to manage or juggle it all, or to just move forward and be successful in similar to what you're doing?
um I would say believe in yourself. There's a lot of people that, and I know it sounds kind of like cliche, like believe in yourself, but there are so many reasons not to, or to be scared of, or, to avoid. And I think approaching things with preparedness, like if you're prepared for a situation, it kind of makes that nervousness, it doesn't make it go away, but it
Mm-hmm.
makes it to a point where it's manageable to move forward. So if you're into something, or if you want to make a move, the first step is to be prepared, get educated about it to a point where you're comfortable to move forward. Like I say, won't be 100% good with it, but at least you'll be in a space where it makes sense. And I don't do it all on my own. I have a team. My husband helps, and my sons throw ideas at me. Like it's a unit, and it's important to have that unit, because when you're feeling weak, they're strong. When
Yeah.
you're kind of confused about things, you have that person that can help you see through. So, I talk to my dad. I talk to a bunch of business people that I know to get ideas, or to hash out some things. So
Mm-hmm.
having a
Mm-hmm.
good team is very important too.
Mm. Yeah. Good boss tips, everyone. And so, again, if you're just joining us, I'm talking with Chef Q, Laiquan Harvey-Davis, the boss of How Delish. And if you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, let us know. Shout us out in the comments. We can say hi to you guys. And thank you all for tuning in. Those of you watching already, and we get folks from all over that watch the show. And so, and definitely, I had some folks say, "Oh my goodness, how delish!" So, again, thank you all for watching. And now, um, coming on to we're coming approaching the holidays. I know that you have some type of fabulous menu for holidays, for Christmas. What is the How Delish must-have orders that we should do like right now?
So the banana pudding cheesecake is very popular. Our banana pudding cheesecake is one of the top things. I've been requested to make cookie platters for Christmas, so we'll probably have some gluten-free cookie platters. Thinking what else is a must-have. The rum cake. The rum cake is actually new. This is the first holiday we're selling rum cakes. So rum cake is another item. I believe in the tiramisu because it's a adult type of dessert. It has rum and coffee in it, but it's well balanced. It's not nothing too crazy. But that's definitely something that wows people is the tiramisu cake.
Okay, all right. We have somebody that is asking a question here. Um, Carl wants to know, how did you know when to grow your business from catering to a storefront? And was it intimidating to take the leap? And will you expand to a second location? It's a lot in there. So.
Okay, so this is how. So it came out of need. So we were working in a commercial kitchen that closed, a commercial kitchen that we loved that closed, and we were forced to use another space that we weren't too happy with. So my husband knew I just was not happy in this space. So he's like, listen, you need to get your own space. So originally we were looking for space for production. We were doing festivals, we were supplying a bunch of restaurants, so we just needed production. When we found the space that we're in, the owners mentioned, like, no, you guys should have a cafe. And I was just looking at them like, a cafe? Oh, no, nobody has time for that. I was like, no, just production space. But we love the space so much. And so we gave in. We're like, you know what? Okay, we'll do it. We'll do a cafe. So that's how it came about. That's how the space, we weren't looking for a space for a storefront. We were looking for a space for solely production. And the owners saw something in us and he suggested it. And we said, okay. So that's how this came about.
Okay.
A second location right now, no. Even though the real estate market is very good as far as getting space and the numbers are right for most places, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that customers don't realize. Staffing is an issue. Supplies are an issue. So to take on another location and have to worry about two locations with the same things right now is just not something that I think is good for us. So we're just going to hang on to the one location for now. And until things get better with supplies and employees, we're going to just stay here in West Orange.
And now, please share with us some of the upcoming events that you have. I know you mentioned there was one coming up soon. Tell us about some other events that you have coming up.
Yes, we're having another game day. Well, this Friday, December 10th. I want to say November so bad because these months are going so fast. No. December 10th. Insatiable Vegan will be back. It's one of our pop-up, our guest chefs popping up here Friday night from 6 to 10 p.m. She has mac and cheese balls, crab cakes, empanadas, all types of different foods that are very good. And on December 18th, we're having another game day. So bring the kids, all ages are welcome from 12 to 6 game day. And ordering for the holidays, that's due December 19th. And then I mentioned the generational meetup we're having January 8th. That's from 6 to 8 p.m. And then we're also planning a STEAM event for kids And that's gonna happen. I'm trying to fit it in December, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen because Christmas is way closer than we like it to be. So that'll probably be early January. A Saturday, early January. We're having a STEAM event. We'll have kids sign up. We prefer kids, I would say age 7 and older, that are able to do things on their own with direction.
Okay.
Because we're going to be doing a hands-on project. So yeah, that's coming up in January.
Okay. All right. A lot of good stuff coming up. And where can they find the information for the upcoming events and find you online?
It's actually on our website. So our website is howdelishhd.com, and the tab is where to find. And under where to find, you'll see any modified hours for the holidays. You'll see upcoming events. And the STEAM event isn't up there yet because, like I said, we're still deciding on the date, but everything else is there as far as modified hours for the holidays also.
All right. And where else can they find you on social media?
So we're on Instagram and Facebook, the same handle at howdelishhd.com. I'm sorry, at howdelishhd, listen to me. And then we have a community page that's at howdelish. You'll find pictures of people that visit in front of the community wall. You'll find information about events, just different things. I plan on doing more of the community page. It's just a lot going on right now. So
you can't clone. I guess you have to clone yourself, really.
yes. See that. then we'll get a second location.
Right. Well, let them come to your first location, which is here in West Orange, and that's at 55 Kingsley Street, West Orange, and 07052. If you need to put it in your GPS.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And our store hours are modified. I know some people, they don't understand it right now, but there's a lot of reasons why we have modified hours. So our store hours are Thursday through Sunday instead of 7 days a week. So you can find us Thursday from 12 to 6, Friday from 12 to 10. It's our late night. You could come hang out. A lot of moms come hang out, get away from the kids for a bit on a Friday night. And then Saturday and Sunday, we open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have breakfast in the morning.
See, I try to come hang out, but my kids want to come hang with me because they want to eat the food. Exactly. But thank you so much for sharing the story of How Delish, your inspiration behind it, and sharing boss tips. Your inspiration to the community, and definitely for other entrepreneurs, and shining example. This is why I do Boss Talk, because others, I want to share with others, upcoming entrepreneurs, and those that are current entrepreneurs that may have hit a plateau or something, to see others doing it and doing it well, and their inspiration on their community and their audience. So thank you so much for being a guest and for coming on tonight and sharing How Delish with us. And for everyone that is watching, again, if you want, thank you. If you want to place an order, go to howdelishhd.com. And again, you can find her on Instagram at howdelishhd, or howdelish, which is her community page. And also on Facebook, you could just do a search for How Delish HD. And if you're in town or nearby or coming to West Orange, you can check out her location at 55 Kingsley Street, West Orange, New Jersey, 07052. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. If you missed any part of this will be on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can watch the replay and catch her boss tips and information about upcoming events as well. And Laiquan, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Everyone, have a good night.
Bye.